Alright, so you might have noticed that not much has changed since the last video. I'm still kind of wearing the same shirt and I have like the same hair. You get it? I'm shooting it at the same time. But I really wanted to respond to Bookhouse Boy's contest and enter into his contest for the Machete Steelbook Blu-ray. Oh yeah. Not only because really I loved Machete, and I don't even have any steelbooks yet, so it would be nice to make that like my first steelbook. But also because the questions he asked were kind of interesting. One of them was funny, but the others are very interesting, and I felt like I felt like doing another one of these little Q&A video type things. So here we go, my video response to Bookhouse Boys contest for the Machete Steelbook Blu-ray. I'm going to start out with he asked for 5 facts about myself. I'm going to start out with those. I've done some facts videos, like 5 facts videos in the past, but I'm going to try to bring up stuff that I haven't before for people who maybe don't know. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is that one, you may not know this, but I have an anxiety disorder. I know. Someone as boisterous and loud and joyous as me has an anxiety disorder? It's kind of crazy, isn't it? But it's true. Clinically diagnosed, I have an anxiety disorder. And the reason I'm so boisterous and loud and generally happy most, if not all the time, is because I am I have learned to deal with it in my own way, the anxiety issue. Um, it really is something where um, they have medication for like depression and stuff like that, but that's pretty much all that they can do for you. And I guess they have some new medication for anxiety, but it isn't gonna help if you don't know how to deal with the issue on your own. So it's better to just figure out how to, just conquer your own demons without the medication. And I've done this before. I've done this before when I was younger, where I was depressed for a period of a few years. So I had to figure out my own way out of it, basically, and I didn't want to rely on any medication. So, yeah. And that actually, people would think that was when I was like a teenager. Teenagers get depressed a lot or whatever. But actually, this happened to me when I was like 9, 10 years old. So, yeah. And I know now that that depression was a result of the anxiety disorder. But basically, the main thing that I notice now more than ever that just is never going to go away is that I always, um, I never sweat the big stuff. I'm like bipolar backwards when it comes to worrying about things, basically. I always worry about the small things. Those things, even though I know it's stupid to worry about them, it just freaks me the hell out, and I just start freaking out and worrying about it every now and then. Usually I can control it, but when I see it happening, I know it's happening, and it pisses me off more than anything. So it's not like, oh no, it's more like, fuck you for making me worry about shit that doesn't matter. You know. I think we all have a feeling like that, and that's why it's so easy to like misdiagnose something like this, and it's so easy for people to believe that it's not actually happening to you. I've actually had people tell me in the past that I was making it up. I'm not making it up; it actually is real. But yeah, I'm gonna just call that one fact, even though I put in a few more in there. But I'm gonna call that one fact. It's gonna be a long ass video. So maybe I'll call it 2 facts because one of the facts I had in here is kind of lame. But anyways, yeah, 2 facts. One, that I was depressed when I was younger. Two, that I was having anxiety disorder. Yeah. Okay. The third fact then would be I dropped out of public school in the 8th grade. Mm-hmm. Yeah, technically it was illegal then, and it's illegal now, but I did it anyways because I felt at that time that I was not getting anything out of my schooling experience. I kept being flunked or given bad grades. I kept trying to do my best, but failing and not doing any better. And it was apparent to me that the people at the school didn't give a damn about whether I succeeded or not. So I was just like, well, I don't need people with that attitude who are going to put me in classes that are going to intentionally keep me behind the rest of everybody when I can go off and do something for myself in another way. So, as many young people nowadays sadly do, I dropped out of school and I got my GED later on after going through some other schooling. I went to a private school, and then when the private school closed down, I got some private tutoring. Ha 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 ha. Until I was ready to take the GED test. So, yeah. And now I'm going for my bachelor's and I'm almost there. So yeah, proof that you can drop out at a young age and still make something of yourself. The fourth uh, thing, the fourth fact about me is a little nerd fact that's going to make some people go, yeah, some of you are just going to be like, I don't believe it. I didn't see Star Wars until I was a teenager. Yep. It took me until I was a frickin' teenager to see Star Wars. I know, I know. That's horrible. But yeah, I when I was a kid, I really didn't have any interest in Star Wars because, well, I was more a kid of the '90s and like late '80s than I was of the early '80s, late '70s. So it was like past that time when Star Wars still very knowledgeable at the time, very much in the social consciousness, but I had not seen enough about it to give a damn enough until they re-released it in theaters in the '90s, the original trilogy with the special edition trilogy, actually, yeah. And so at that point, I had only ever seen the special edition. Sad that I had to start out that way, right? But yeah, I never saw Star Wars until I was a teenager. On to fact five. Now, some of you might actually know this about me, and some of you might think I've been joking about it, but seriously, it is one of my all-time dreams to become a voice actor. I've said maybe, I kind of would like to be a Muppeteer. That would be freaking awesome. Are you kidding me? I love to make the silliest voices. I just do it all the time with my family and my friends and everybody. I'm just the voice guy. I just mess around with my voice a lot. I just like to make silly, goofy voices, and I would like to turn that into a career at some point, but it's one of those things where I really would have no idea where to start when breaking into the industry. You know, it's like I don't even know how the people who are on in the industry got their start. I mean, for the most part, they were all like actors and are still actors in other mediums, which to me, it's like um, I want to be a voice actor, not necessarily an actor, you know? And I guess you can go for that and make your main area of study acting, But, it's for me, it's more about the voice acting, and I do feel and I do know that there's a huge freaking difference between acting for the screen as a person like me and voice acting. You're not there. You're in a studio. You're speaking into a microphone. You don't have to make any faces or any gestures or any movements. It's not the same thing. Your voice is your tool. And that is what I am more interested in. And so it's just like I would like to break into the industry. I just don't think it would be a wise idea, and I don't think it's a great way to do it, to break into it through learning how to act, basically, through acting. Because yes, it's a form of acting, but that doesn't mean that learning how to act is going to help you with that. Because it's so very different from typical acting, in my view, that it's just like, why would you want to do that? How would that be helpful? It seems like it would be a complete waste of time to me. Like, you have to get through all this other stuff just to get to the point where you want to be, just so you can possibly turn it into a career. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, why would you have so much useless stuff to learn? It doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, there's my 5 facts. On to the next little bit that he wanted to know about. If I guess I can't remember exactly what it was. Like something is like, if the house is burning down and you had to grab one your favorite movie on like one format: DVD, Laserdisc, Blu-ray, VHS, whatever. What would it be and why? My choice, honestly, I love Blu-ray, but my choice would be DVD. And the reason is because it's a lot easier to replace a DVD player than it is to replace a Blu-ray player right now on the market. I can go find a DVD player for like $5, but if I lost my Blu-ray player, I probably wouldn't be able to afford another one. So why would I grab a Blu-ray copy of my favorite movie, not knowing whether or not I could actually utilize that Blu-ray? So it's like, why it wouldn't be worth saving if I wouldn't actually know if I could utilize it. A DVD, I am confident I can go out there, spend $5, get a DVD player, and bam, I can watch the sucker. Also, assuming I brought my laptop with me, my laptop has a DVD player in it. So, DVD. Maybe it's cheaper, but I think that's the format that I would choose. And I think that's my reason. And as for the last question, of course, the silly, funny, weird question. There's always got to be something like this with Bookhouse Boy. That's why we love him. And he wanted to know, when did I last fart and what was it like? It was earlier today, and it was one of those clappers, if you will. It was a mighty meaty one. Yes. And as for how it smelled, well, I didn't really get close enough to it to smell it, I guess. But I would wager that it was rather stinky. Rather stinky indeed. So yes, there's my contest entry into Bookhouse Boy's contest. If you haven't checked out his contest, you should do so. I want to thank Bookhouse for being such a good friend, good guy. He has now 3,000 subscribers. I am so, look at that hair. I am so insanely jealous of Bookhouse Boy right now. He deserves all his subscribers and more. He's just insanely entertaining, and I love watching his stuff. And if you haven't checked out his videos, and you really should. You should subscribe. Give him some love. He's an awesome dude, and I'm glad to be his friend. So yeah, catch you later, people. Peace.